Hi, I'm Dana. Welcome to this week's video blog. You know, nothing really puts more fear in a parent's heart than considering taking a long distance journey with your children, especially if you've worked really hard to get them onto an excellent sleep schedule. It's really daunting to consider, first of all, long plane rides, time zone changes, and all of that just makes people say, no, forget it, we're not going anywhere. Now I'm going to give you some tips today for handling travel because I do want you to go somewhere. I think family holidays are, for me, one of my favorite memories of childhood. So I don't want you to put that all aside because you've got children that sleep well. But I am going to give you some tips here today. Now the first thing is plane travel. And my advice around that is do whatever you have to do to just survive. I mean, really. There's nothing you can do. You're confined in a small space. For the most part, you can't even leave your seat. So if you have to resort to old ways like nursing your baby to sleep or rocking to sleep or feeding treats or letting them watch TV, I don't care what it is. You know, really all rules kind of go out the window a little bit when you're traveling on a plane. Okay, so just get through it. Just survive it. You know, make sure you have snacks and coloring and videos and you name it to keep your children occupied as best that you can while you're traveling. Now, when you get there, now we have to get back on track, right? One thing I see people do all the time when they travel is that they overschedule themselves. I would say that's the biggest mistake, traveling mistake that people make is overscheduling. And so what happens then is this baby, you know, is being dragged around to all these things and sites and friends and family, and they're missing naps and they're going to bed too late, and a few nights of that, and now this child can become so overtired that she just has a complete meltdown at bedtime, screams the house down for an hour because she's lost the ability to cope, right? And then a parent thinks, what? Why is she crying? She doesn't ever cry anymore. And now you're nervous and you're in a hotel room, right? Or you're at your mother-in-law's and you're thinking, ooh, I can't let this baby cry. And now you're going to backstep into all your old habits. And by the end of the 2 weeks, you've got a baby in your bed, breastfeeding all night, and you name it. So just be careful of that. You know, you really do need to honor your child's sleep needs the same way you would food. You certainly wouldn't drive them, you know, all day long and not feed them. So you really do need to honor it. Now, one missed nap here or there, a slightly late bedtime, you know, once in a while, not likely the end of the world, but certainly keep a close eye on it, okay? Now, a few tips for handling jet lag. The good news here is that children handle jet lag really well, especially if they're well rested going into the trip. Adults, totally different story because we are often operating on a sleep debt already, and then jet lag is just going to make that monumental when we get to our location. So, good news is it should only take a couple of days to get your child on track. Now there are some things you can do to help encourage it along. First of all, try to get into the new time zone as quickly as you can. You know, get on that schedule, put naps in the appropriate place, and get bedtime on track right away. The faster you do that, the faster your body clock will come around. Make sure you get lots of daytime sunlight. So go out for walks. First thing in the morning is really optimal if you can get out of the hotel or out of the house first thing in the morning, even for just a half an hour of direct sunlight in the early morning hours will really help get your body clock in line. In the evening, make sure you minimize light, so turn off anything that's unnecessary. Close curtains, put the blackout blinds closed, and really help get that melatonin kicking in so that your body comes around to the idea of daytime alertness and nighttime sleep. Okay, so then when you get home, if everything falls apart, which sometimes it just does, you've tried to honor the schedule, you've got a same situation while you travel as you do at home, make sure you have the same expectations for your children. I used to travel with, or we still do, but when our kids were little, we traveled all the time. But we made sure we honored their schedule. We made sure that they had their own sleep environment that was as similar as we could get to their home situation, and I had the same expectations for their sleep. Even if for a night or two they were a little off and maybe did a bit more protesting because it was somewhere new, I taught them quite quickly that, you know what? Doesn't matter where we are, you need to sleep. That's the rules. And they came around to that quite quickly. All right, I hope that gives you a little bit of reassurance that it's still okay to take those trips. Thanks for watching. Sleep well.